Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a Fredio book. Apparently. You guys know what to do. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach.
And my name's Microsoft. Can I crash at your place tonight?
Oh, shit, dude. I'm using that one.
Ooh, I thought you would like that one. I'm going to use Microsoft user.
Yeah, I'm going to use that one on my wife, even though I already live here.
I mean, the couch is still an option, so, you know.
Most nights I wonder why she doesn't kick me off to the couch, but...
Why is that? Are you a snorer?
I'm a snorer.
You know what? I vaguely remember that, but I don't think you weren't like horrendous or anything.
No, it's gotten worse.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yep.
You're getting old.
Yep, gotten worse as my soft palate at the back of my throat's getting softer.
Just a big old soft mouth, you.
Oh, ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Don't you wish?
I actually sleep on the couch on the somewhat regular, and not because I'm kicked out to the couch, but typically my wife goes to bed before me. Because I don't sleep very much, and I can't go to bed when I'm not tired because then it makes it even harder to sleep. Excuse me. So Allie will go to sleep, and then sometimes if I'm up too late and I don't want to disturb her, I'll just sleep on the couch.
I'll do that sometimes. Like it was like it wasn't this past week. I don't know, maybe last weekend. I don't recall exactly when, but recently, my wife called it a night early, and the kids sort of crawled up in bed. It was one of those weird moments where they were all snuggling and just fell asleep in the same bed. And then, I was doing my thing, and I come upstairs, and they're all just crashed. So I was like, well, I guess I just gotta sleep on the couch. Yeah, sleep on the couch tonight.
Allie always gives me shit because she's like, "Why don't you go sleep in the spare bedroom?" Because we have a really nice bed in the spare bedroom.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I don't want to dirty the sheets, and I don't want to bring the dogs. And typically, if I'm sleeping on the couch, it means one of the dogs is actually paying attention to me at that point.
Right.
So I have to maximize that time, and I just don't move. I'm not above admitting to using my dog and a couple throw pillows as a blanket, trying to sleep at night.
Yeah, man. Warmth is warmth. It doesn't matter where it comes from.
Man, Zach, I got a confession. I'm at a point in my life where I either need to get a third dog or no dogs, and here's why. Because
you're either gonna double down.
Triple down at this point.
Yeah.
So Allie and I knew we were going to get a dog at some point. I wanted a dog, needed a dog.
Right.
She was more on the fence, and I had, convinced her that we should get a dog, and she agreed. But on the basis that, I promised to do, I'd pick up the poop and I'd do this, and it's like, you just have to coexist with the dog and help out when you feel like it.
Right.
And this maybe will make my wife sound bad, or she's just never had pets before. Didn't see the value, is now a pet person and loves our dogs dearly and does co-parent to some degree.
Right.
But the running joke in our house is that if I were to pass away suddenly, our dogs would have a rough time. Because, Allie doesn't like getting up in the morning to let them out. Allie can sleep 15 hours a day and be completely happy. Allie doesn't carry those big-ass bags of dog food, So what I'm getting at is we got Gus, loved him. He was my dog for about 3 weeks, maybe a month, and then completely Allie's dog. They are the two best friends in the entire world, and then there's me. I'm I am the middle child of our household, or maybe not middle. Maybe it's like the youngest child, but the middle and the oldest child are like 10 years older, so they're really close, and you're just like existing. Yeah. And there's like they love you, but it's kind of like obligation love.
Yeah, I get
that's
that.
what I'm getting. That's what I was getting from Gus. So, a couple years later, I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I want another dog. I want my own dog, and we're gonna get a girl dog because. Right. Typically male dogs prefer the woman of the house and female dogs prefer the man. I don't know why. That's just what I read somewhere. Don't know if it's true or not. But at least from my experience, it is true. So we go through the process. Yeah. So we go through the process. We get Winnie, and she's my dog for 3 weeks, and then is either no one's dog or Gus and Allie's dog. She is my dog because I will play fetch with her. That's the only time she really pays attention to me. So I'm just like, it hurts, Zach.
Maybe it's time to stop getting corgis. Maybe you switch it up and get a different kind of dog.
I threaten them all the time that I'm going to go to the pound and rescue like an old dog and just going to feed it steak so it loves me and just ignore those fucks. I've gone on puppy strikes a couple times.
Yeah.
I normally crack because they're so fucking cute and I need snuggles. But it doesn't really have an effect. And I think I'm just like, I'm always ready to love. So they know that I'm like the easy love,
Right. Right, but they want to work for it.
I'm the go-to, and Allie is like the one they want. So they'll like dedicate 90% of their time and energy to getting attention from Allie, and then finally, if that doesn't work, they're like, "Oh, I guess we'll go over to you."
I'm sorry, man.
Devastating. I love my dogs. Like, don't get me wrong, and I could not imagine life without them. And when we go away, I miss them, and they do show me some attention. I'm being a little bit dramatic, but on average I probably do 70% of the dog work and get about 5% of the dog love.
Yeah, your ROI isn't great, dude.
No, so I don't know what to do, man. I'm thinking about just getting my own dog.
Just saying, all right, screw you guys, I'm starting over.
Yeah, I'm fucking refreshing, hard wipe, just Gus, Winnie, you live with Allie now.
Here's what you do, okay? Mm-hmm. You go complete opposite of the kind of dog you get. You go for a giant, like a Great Pyrenees. It's a huge mountain dog, or you get like a Mastiff or a Great Dane or something like that.
I'd get a burner. I like burners.
Yeah.
Or, a Mastiff. A Great Dane would be kind of cool. They're so gentle and loving.
They are, and they don't really, honestly, need a whole lot of space because they don't really exercise too much because their hearts are large. So
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Minimal exercise with the dog. Yeah. I could get on that.
Yeah, man. So you go for a Great Dane. You're the biggest thing next to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you know how funny it would be to see a Great Dane next to Winnie, our like bottom 10 percentile for size corgi?
It'd be amazing. You almost have to be concerned though at a certain point, like, oh god, this Great Dane's gonna smash the corgi with its giant paw.
Yeah, it would be a risk for sure. But you know what? I believe in natural selection.
It was her time.
They wouldn't be in that position if they showed me some love. So they made their choice. They made their bed.
That's their fault. They didn't love you hard enough.
Exactly. I have fucking needs.
I am the dictator of this goddamn house. You need to love me.
One job in this world. 2 jobs, and one is not even actually a job. Just don't shit in the house and love me.
You're a dictator, man.
No, I'm not dictating. They can love other people too. Just love me sometimes. Once in a while. Not just when I have food or a ball
You're
in
like
my hand.
you're an easy pushover dictator. That's what this is. You're like, okay, you don't have to love me all the time. You can like love members of my family or whatever, but a little bit.
I would be happy if we went from like 5% love to like 30. 30 would be fucking stellar, you know?
Sure. Yeah. How do we get you there? That's the question.
I don't know. Man. I got to change my voice to always talk in high pitched, and I got to just duct tape sausages to my ankles.
Just have the dogs chase you around.
And I think I have to just ignore them a little bit, which is so fucking hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you almost have to approach it the way Allie approaches it, where she just doesn't give a fuck, right?
They will die.
No, I mean, get them food or whatever, but just like, you know, I don't know, just don't pay attention to them. Because you can't just be like, Winnie, 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 Winnie. Yeah? You just got to be like, whatever, asshole.
Getting a new dog.
Yeah, on the other hand, my dog just turned 1 year old yesterday.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yep. Good old Brisbane. He's
I see. I like Brisbane.
Yeah, but see, if you're saying,
do you call him Bane?
No,
What do you call him?
I call him
Brizzy.
Brizzy.
Yeah, Brizzy's pretty good.
But if you're saying it like the Australians say it, and our Australian listeners can vouch for this, it's Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Yep. So. So that's we were going for because we talked to Natalie and Ian, our mutual friends, who live down under, and they were throwing out some names. I don't know. They threw out Brisbane, but they threw out some other ones. I can't remember what all they were now, but they were very Australian. And
I mean, that's where they live.
That's true.
I don't call our dogs by their names very often.
No? You just call them like shithead or something?
Sometimes. Yeah. But Allie and I use mostly nicknames for them, which they respond to. So Gus's nicknames. Mm-hmm. The weirdest one people get confused is Nomi.
Nomi.
And I don't know why we started calling him Nomi. But we do.
Like Gnomey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We call him Goose.
Nomi and Goose, and he responds to both?
I call him Ding and Winnie Dong. I call Gus Doorknob and Winnie Deadbolt. Winnie gets Winnebago, Winbin.
Okay.
Winterfred. Yeah. Princess Angel Baby Muffin Face.
Princess Angel Baby Muffin Face?
No, sorry. I have to. Perfect Little Angel Princess Baby Muffin Face.
Jesus Christ, man. And okay, but when you talk to her, I want to hear the voice that you make, because I have a feeling it's going to make my blood boil. Go ahead.
No, I can't.
You have to.
I can't do my Winnie voice.
You have to do your Winnie voice.
Okay. It goes something like, I can't fucking
just close your eyes and say it, dude. You don't even have to be looking at me. Come on, man. Gotta do it on the podcast, dude.
Like,
look.
Winnie, hey, Winnie.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Oh, okay.
And then she'll power stance and like run around, and then I throw the ball at her face, and she loves it.
I'm usually screaming at my dog. Not Ruby. Ruby's good. But Brisbane, he's still so puppyish that he's doing a bunch of stuff that he shouldn't be doing, like getting like counter surfing and stuff like that, and like trying to get at food.
Yeah,
and
Winnie
shit.
still does that when she's mad.
Yeah.
Rarely when we're home, but like it never fails within the first 2 days. If we go somewhere and Cody's watching them, he'll text us, Winnie got on the kitchen table and like ate a book or ate a placemat. One time she knocked over a bunch of Allie's puzzles that she was working, like a puzzle that she was working on. She knocked it over and ate part of it.
Asshole.
Gus has no desire Gus will get on top of his kennels, and he tries to get on top of this like little table that we have their food on, but he's not athletic.
Right.
But very food motivated.
You know, my dogs are food motivated for certain types of food. Like I can tell Brisbane just doesn't want to eat dog food. Like that's just not what he wants to eat. Like that's not his jam.
They have value, right? Same thing with humans.
Yeah.
I'd get really motivated if Allie's like, "Hey, do this chore, I'll buy you a pizza."
Yeah.
Versus, do this chore and give you some carrots.
Sure. Yeah, I mean but it's so drastically different, and it's dependent on like if I give him a milk bone or something like that, he'll go nuts. Like he'll be all over the place. Yeah,
bones, eh?
But if I'm just like putting scoops of food in his bowl, he'll like nibble at it and then he'll like walk away. And the thing is, we have to watch the food because my fat ass other dog, not really fat, but very food motivated and okay with eating dog food, will come through when Brisbane's not looking and start eating his food. Yeah. So we have to watch, we got to watch closely what's going on with the food at all times. Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. But he turned 1 yesterday. We didn't do anything special, but I had a friend growing up, and they had this dog, and it was just like this little, it was like a mix of something. It looked like, oh God, I don't know. It looked like a mop without a, looked like a mop without a stick, you know, just walking around. And they every year they would go get a Big Mac, like an actual.
Give it to the dog.
Sit the Big Mac down on the ground, and it was this little, like, the dog couldn't have been more than fucking.
Man, that's what I'm gonna do for
10,
Winnie for her birthday.
15, maybe 20 pounds. That dog, but that just
going to town.
But they didn't really stray the rest of the year. It was just like, okay, this is the day, you know, where you just get to eat. But that's the thing,
it's
like
Big Mac Day.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like that's so different from a dog's regular diet that dog's going to be shitting everywhere, right?
Yeah, I'd probably give him a little bit of an upset stomach. So in our house, because Gus is Allie's dog, she plans his birthday, which she missed this year. After giving me shit for the last 6 months for missing Winnie's birthday, which is supposed to be my dog, so I'm responsible for her
right,
birthday.
Even though it's not really your dog or Allie's dog most of the time.
I would say like 50-50. I would say 40% of the time she's like Gus's dog / on her own.
Okay.
And then I would say 50%. Yeah, 50% of the time she's Allie's dog. So that's 90%. And then 10% she's mine. Okay. Which is like when I have a ball.
Yeah.
Or food when I feed her in the. But it's not that she's excited for me or shows me love. It's
excited
like
for the
she's
ball.
Showing her bowl.
So love. You're just not appreciated at all.
I'm just a vessel that lets them out, walks them, plays with them, feeds them, picks up their shit, cleans up their puke.
Yeah. You might as well just be a big shadowy figure that just sort of looms about the house and is able to.
That's pretty much all I am. I'm a fucking Casper housemaid.
You're not the owner of the dogs. You're just the.
I'm pretty sure they think I'm their pet.
They don't do anything with you. They're bad pet owners then.
They're horrible pet owners. Or I'm like their butler. Maybe a butler's more.
That's more apropos,
Yeah, and they pay me in snuggles.
Yeah, but you're
like,
underpaid.
It's like duty booty. Yeah. You know, they're like, you can just tell they're doing it because they're like, oh, I better pay, you know, my 5% attention to John so I get fed tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I shit you not. Winnie will come and snuggle me. It'll be like the best, 30 seconds to 4 minutes of my life. And then she'll just like out of nowhere will decide, you know what, I'm getting off. And we'll jump down onto the floor. And then she'll do this huge shake, which is like what dogs do to like relieve stress.
Right.
and then will jump up on her chair and then just like go to sleep. It's like she got out of the door of the factory from work, punched out, did her shake to stress relief, and then went home to bed. It was like, wow, that was straight up a job. Like,
yeah. My so Brisbane's not much of a snuggler at this point. He's just got too much energy. He can't stay still for very long at all. Ruby is the supreme snuggler. Ruby will jump up on my lap and when I'm sitting in the recliner. And mind you, Ruby's 45, 50 pounds. So she's not a lap dog. She's too big to be a lap dog at this point. But she sure acts like she is. So she'll jump up or like contort herself into a weird position just to be near somebody. But Brisbane, man, you can't. You have a hard time even catching that dude just to sit still to pet him, you know, like he's just
always on the go.
Yeah,
right?
well, those Australian Shepherds, man, they just have so much endurance. I could take that dude on a sprint, like a legit like 2-mile dead sprint, get him home. He might be panting for a few minutes, drink some water, and then just be ready to go again. I'm done for the day, but he's fucking ready to go again.
You should get him a pull harness, like a proper pull harness, and then hook him up to like a bike or something. Just let him pull your ass or a
Dude,
wagon.
that's a good idea. What I intend to do, actually, they have these things. I don't know if you've seen them before, but they're like automatic tennis ball shooters.
Oh yeah.
So you get it, it shoots. The dog gets it and brings it back and sets it back in the shooter or whatever, and then it shoots another one off. That's how I intend summer to go. I'm just going to put him outside with the little shooter.
Just lobbing balls.
Yeah, just wear that little motherfucker out so that later on he'll come inside and maybe he'll just be too beat to do anything but just lay down somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, that is the theory. If you keep them super stimulated, then they don't find things to do.
Right.
Because, you know, a misbehaving dog is a bored dog.
It's true. It's very true.
So, I mean, that's a challenge. We have that same issue with Gus because he doesn't like, he's okay with walks. He doesn't really care for them. He likes playing, like he likes tug,
right?
But he doesn't like fetch. He's like really hard to stimulate. We have to give him like brain puzzles. So we feed them in cardboard boxes that have a bunch of shit in it and whatnot. But it's the same thing when we can tell when he's bored because he'll eat Allie's shoes.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like it's exhausting trying to find different things to fucking entertain that dog because we can't just be like, let's go for a walk.
Right.
He gets really stressed and then he chews because he's stressed.
Right. We do. So it's really funny. Like if I mention the word walk at all around my dogs, Ruby just goes nuts. Like she's like, yeah, let's fucking do it. I'm ready for a walk. And then, you know, Brisbane's always ready for a walk. So, you know, I still have to harness him. I don't have to harness Ruby because she's a good dog and she can walk with us for the most part. But recently, and it's been since we've got Brisbane, I don't know if it's just too stressful with the other dog to go on a walk, but I'll be like, let's go on a walk. And then she'll be fucking ready. We'll get outside and we'll start walking and we'll get like 2 blocks away from the house or something. And she'll like turn around and start going backwards, like back towards the house. Like she's like, all right, I'm done. Like this is too much. She's like hanging. Though, right? Yeah, but I mean, she's older, but it's very atypical from like it used to be where she'd just be like, yeah, let's go on a walk. Like I'm gonna be like really exhausted by the time I get back, but I'm ready to go on this walk. Now it's just like, you know, I'm good. I thought I wanted to do this, but I don't want to do this anymore.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Huh, that's tough. Yeah. I don't know, man. Dogs are fucking fickle.
Yeah. I mean, she'll come back and continue on the walk. I just have to scream at her, you know. I always feel like a bad pet owner too when I'm like fucking just screaming at my dog across the neighborhood, you know. All my neighbors have to hear me yelling at my dogs. It's not good. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, that is a tough. I suppose it's very similar to like yelling at your kids in public. No one wants to do it.
Yeah. Oh, but I do it. I cherish every moment I can to just scream at my kids.
So my thought on that is like, Unless like I don't have kids, so I could never really like if someone was like if I saw or when I see like a kid misbehaving in a store, and there's always people that judge like, oh, why can't you like control your kid?
Right.
And it's like that is like a 5-year-old ticking time bomb that is like ready to explode at any given time. Like you could be the best parent in the world, your kids are still gonna have fucking tantrums, right?
100%.
Like that's just part of human development.
Well, and here's the thing: it doesn't get better until they grow up.
Yeah, so I never understand the judgment, especially if like you don't have kids, because then I feel like if you had kids, you'd understand. You'd be like, you know what?
Yeah.
That mom or that dad is having a rough fucking day, and I've been there.
Yeah.
And I feel that same way with my dogs, where people, if they're outside into something, and I'm like, hey, put it down, and people are like, why are you yelling at your dog? I'd be like, oh, if you had dogs, you would know.
Yeah.
Like I'm tired of cleaning up Gus's puke that is full of his poop because he's obsessed with eating frozen turds. So yeah, I'm going to yell at him about eating frozen turds for the 10,000th time this winter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild, man. I am, so when you're saying how you relate so much to people who are going through the same struggles, I used to be that kind of guy where I'd like get on a flight, like somebody's got a kid and you're like, oh, God damn it. Like, this is gonna suck, and then they start crying, and you're pissed off at the parents for bringing the kid on the thing. But it's like, dude, I had to make whenever my youngest was months old, maybe 5 months old, we had to take a flight to Detroit for the holidays. We were going to see Steph's family in Michigan, and she was.
I think flying with kids is terrifying.
I mean, it's terrifying because you're like, all right, well, maybe if we give them the fucking chewy shit or whatever the medicine is that's gonna help them cope with the shit, you got to time it all out and hopefully it, but whatever it is, but yeah, it's sort of a toss up, because she was okay on the flight there. On the way back, she was just a banshee for a fucking hour and a half, and I kept looking around and saying, I'm sorry. Just literally.
Like, aside from like, asphyxiating my daughter, there's nothing I could do to shut her up right now.
There's literally nothing. Believe me, if we could satiate this child, we'd be doing it, but
I don't want to listen to this either.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah. So, like, when I see parents, like, fighting a kid who's having a tantrum in a store, now I'm like, get it, dude. Been there. Our thing is, if they start throwing tantrum, well, Sophie's, my oldest is, she's better now because she's older, but my youngest still will have moments where I'm like, do we just need to go outside? Or like, we'll just completely remove them from the store. And I remember going through that with my oldest where she was having a full-blown meltdown in the middle of Target. And I'm like, all right, dude. Chucked her over my shoulder, took her outside. It was the middle of winter. We're both sitting out. We're sitting out in the cold on a bench. I'm like, we can sit out here as long as we need to. I'm not going
till you literally cool down.
I'm not going back inside that store with you screaming at the top of your lungs. And of course, it was like another 5 minutes of just her hollering out front of Target, and people are passing by, and I'm giving them like friendly little waves, and they can see the they can see the frustration on my face, but at least I'm sparing everybody inside of that store from having to hear it, And that seemed to work because I think it only happened one time. And then after that I was like, okay, he means business, and this is what's going to happen, Hey guys, let's stop to talk a second real quick about the sponsor for this week's podcast. You guys know him, you guys love him. It's Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. The audiobook we're going to recommend this month for the month of February is Everything is Fucked, a book about hope by Mark Manson. The audiobook is 7 hours and 2 minutes long, and it's narrated by Mark Manson. Here is a brief summary of the audiobook itself. From the author of the international bestseller, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, comes a counterintuitive guide to the problems of hope. We live in an interesting time. Materially, everything is the best it's ever been. We are freer, healthier, and wealthier than any people in human history. Yet, somehow, everything seems to be irreparably and horribly fucked. The planet is warming, governments are failing, economies are collapsing, and everyone is perpetually offended on Twitter. At this moment in history, when we have access to technology, education, and communication our ancestors couldn't even dream of, so many of us come back to an overriding feeling of hopelessness. That's it, guys. The audiobook, again, is Everything is Fucked, a book about hope by Mark Manson. If you don't want to listen to that one, feel free to choose from any of the other 180,000 other titles that Audible has to offer. Thank you, Audible, and let's get back to the podcast.
For all of our listeners who don't know Zach personally, and why it only happened one time, is that's the story of why Sophie only has one ear.
Yeah.
But great parenting.
Hey, man, frostbite's a bitch, but that's her fault, you know?
Live and learn. She learned.
Yeah, so now she just has to turn her body towards me to hear what I say. It's okay. She's doing all right. She's got like one of those old-timey, like those little trumpet things. That,
the record player things?
Yeah, that people put in their ears, but it's directional to be able to hear from whatever direction.
Yeah, you got to aim it.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I did see something really cool on a flight a little while back that I actually meant to talk about on the podcast, and I don't think I did.
I'll let you know if you did.
I was on a flight, and there was a single mother, and she had 2 kids, and they were like, I think one was like 3, maybe 4, and the other one was 6, 7.
Okay.
And it was an overnight flight. It was a red eye, and she looked really fucking exhausted. It sounded like she was coming from somewhere far away.
Yeah.
And the one kid having a complete meltdown, and some lady, like, this was all happening like the seats in front of me.
Right.
And then some lady just went over to their aisle and was like, "Hey, like, do you need a hand?" And like just took the younger girl, the toddler girl, and just showed her iPad and like showed her pictures of like, I don't know, her dog and her house and like her kids and like her grandkids or whatever. And I was like, well, the mom dealt with the younger kid, or the older kid, sorry. And I was like, man, this lady, fucking hero of the flight.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, oh, I've been there. Like,
yeah.
Oh, no, come here, sweetie. Like,
yeah, the world.
Do you want some cookies?
Exactly. The world needs more selflessness like that. I feel like
she was, a stand-in grandma, and she did a killer job. And I mean, I was appreciative.
Hero of the week.
Yeah, I don't even know. I wouldn't be able to pick her out of a crowd of 3 people, because I mostly just acknowledged
that's not a crowd.
For head.
Yeah, 3's not a crowd, but
well, what do you call what's a crowd?
I would say a crowd would be anything over a dozen.
Oh, and who are you to say?
Because a dozen, anything up to a dozen, is a gathering.
A gathering.
Yeah, and then there's a crowd after that. Then there's, I don't know what comes after a crowd. Are you Googling this? Yes. You're definitely Googling this. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I feel like there's a lot of the world needs that. The world needs a lot of people who just are witnessing something, who know they can help and are willing to jump in, and it might be a little bit of an inconvenience for them, but it's going to help somebody else out in the long run. I mean, that's needed.
I'm going down a weird Google rabbit hole right now, trying to find out how many officially makes a crowd versus a group.
Well, I feel like you're going to end up on some porn websites.
Well, it's getting there. And then I was like, well, I want to know
a group orgy
what are the official terms and scales, of each of these different words that we use to describe multiple people in one place.
Well, 3 is a few.
Um, yeah. So I started, trying to figure this out. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna Google group size name scale.
Yeah.
Except in name, I maybe got the N and the M switched and forgot the E.
Man.
So group size man scale, and I was like, "What are these weird fucking?" I'm like, "Oh."
You're like, yeah. Oh, I'm on X and XX again. Yeah, thought I closed that browser window. Nope, it's back.
Yeah. So unsuccessful in that search. So a crowd of 3 is completely okay.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just being facetious. I don't really know what the names for.
They do also say 3's a crowd, don't they?
3's
Suck it.
3's company.
That is a. What? No, isn't it 2's company? 3's a crowd.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so 3 is officially in a crowd. I win.
All right. Well, hey, Johnny's doing the suck it sign right now. The weirdest thing you've ever done the suck it sign for, by the way. You just got all like, oh, suck it. Yeah, 3's a crowd. Fuck yeah, man. I got you, dude. Oh, you sure?
I didn't get it about 3's a crowd. I got it over getting you.
You sure showed me, Johnny.
I sure did. Put that in the tally. The book of Jumbled. Where'd you go?
You've got a book of Jumbled? I just bought some notebooks, so I should probably use one of them for the podcast. Yeah. Yeah.
Book of Jumbled. There's all kinds of notes in here. And some funny drawings that I have doodled while we've recorded.
Well, let's go through some of the doodles.
Let me try and find some here.
So these are in the middle of recording when I'm going on and on about some bullshit that you don't care to listen to. You just bust out the good old Bic and
only when sometimes I have some tallies.
Draw some dicks probably.
There's some notes from when I was a fact checker.
Okay.
Maybe this one doesn't have any doodles.
Well, that's disappointing because I just set you up to talk about your doodles, and now there's no doodles.
Well, hold on. We have a second notebook.
Oh, you've got 2 notebooks on the podcast. You are committed.
I mean, I like notebooks because I have a bad memory. So,
by the way, let me just say, earlier in the week, you texted me and you're like, "Hey, do you have a minute to talk?" And
yeah,
and I was like, "Sure," but for a split second, I thought you were going to quit the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For a split second, I was like, "Oh no, God damn it! This is it. This is how it ends."
This is how it ends. You would keep Jumbled alive.
I would try my damnedest. It'd probably end up being me and my wife.
I think that would be great. You guys should do more episodes. Your guys' episode was actually really funny.
We've been talking about maybe doing a different podcast or something like that.
A different podcast? Why a different podcast?
Well, because you and me do Jumbled.
That's true, but sometimes you or me need a night off, and then Steph can stand in.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to our listeners for all the rummaging, because now I'm super focused, and because the Book of Jumbled is actually a bunch of different books that I have laying around.
The Book of Jumbled, the best.
There's different chapters.
Is that in the King James version, or is that in the New Testament? What are we talking about here?
It is the newest testament, the Jumbled Testament.
The Jumbled Testament.
So, we now officially...
Prophet Johnny. The Book of It says it right on there. Hold on, hold that back up again. And, there we go, got it. Took a little screenshot.
All right, the Book of Jumbled.
That's going to be a great picture to slap up on social media. I'm excited about this. Okay, the Book of Jumbled. Let's go through it.
Well, there's nothing in it. It's blank. It's a brand new book.
Well, God damn it, Johnny. Where are the doodles, man?
I gotta find the notebook with all the jumbled doodles.
Johnny, we're drumming up all these doodles that you said you had, and there's no goddamn doodles, bud.
I know there's one of I drew a pirate ship in one episode that we did with Jer, and not because I was bored, because I just sometimes I need to doodle. I got fidgety hands. I was positive the pirate ship was in this book, although it might be in the book of Jumbled that's at my main computer, not in.
Oh yes, sorry.
Frozen Tundra Studio C.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, that was really fun. This concludes the segment on Johnny's doodles. God, what a waste of time, dude. Don't tell me you've got shit if you don't have shit, man.
I didn't tell you I had shit.
Did. You said I doodled everything, and I said, let's go through the doodles, and you said, okay, and you grabbed a book, and there's no fucking doodles in it, bud. And then you said,
I don't know where the book is.
Oh, my God, man. Listeners, this is the point where you start spamming Johnny with hate mail, okay? Johnny.jumbled@gmail.com. Send him your doodles of just Canadian related things. Very stereotypical. Johnny's about 6 feet 3 inches tall. Okay?
I'm exactly 6 foot 3 inches tall.
So just do some Canadian jiu-jitsu related things. Johnny's in the middle of an earthquake or something right now.
I'm doodling, goddammit.
Trying to make up for it. Dude, it's too late for the doodles, man. We moved on, okay? We moved on, Johnny. We moved on from the doodles, okay? God damn it, dude. I was so pumped about doodles, man. You know what? Let me say something. I've never been more excited about a doodle in my life. I've never been more excited.
We have a new chapter.
What does that say? Is that a dick?
Doodles.
Oh, doodles. I thought it was a dick. Oh, it is a dick. Got it. But the dick stands for dude. Got it. That makes sense. You know what? I was never much of a doodler. Oh, I can't even. Oh, with a K. You son of a bitch, dude. My shit.
We got a page in the book of Jumbled just for doodles for Zach.
Well, you know what?
Hard K in Zach's name. By
Eventually, I want this to be like a Where's Waldo. So you need to come up with just a little picture that you're gonna draw, okay? And then you're gonna hide it in the middle of all this other shit, and I gotta find it.
Okay, all my random notes.
Yeah. I was never a doodler. Never really doodled. No.
I can't draw. I can't draw to save my life. And I'm not a good drawer. Yeah. I wanted to be a good drawer. I practiced drawing. Never worked out. It's not how my brain works.
Yeah. When I was little, I did more doodling. Obviously, when you're little, you do a lot of coloring and.
You know the stupid Superman S thing? I can't really do that.
Oh, you can't do the cool S?
That's
what it's called. Yeah, the three lines, you diagonals, and you triangles on the top. Yeah, man.
The cool S, the cool man S. Talk me through it right now. This is gonna be a fun jumble. Okay, talk me how to do it.
Okay, so,
tell me exactly what to do.
I will tell you exactly what to do. So first of all, you're gonna leave a little bit of a buffer space above it. So maybe if are you dealing with a ruled piece of paper?
Line paper, yeah.
Go a couple lines down, and then you're gonna do
2 lines down.
Yep, and you're gonna do from the top of the line to the bottom of or from one line to the next line. You're gonna do 3 vertical lines, one next to the other.
Wait, what?
So on one line of the paper, a couple lines down from the top.
Line. One vertical line.
One vertical line, then another vertical line next to it.
So on the same line.
Like tally marks, like 3 tally marks next to each other.
Okay.
So you've got the 3. Okay?
Yeah, 3.
Then you're going to skip down, you're going to skip a line.
Okay.
So you're going to have that line of space in the middle, then you're going to do the same thing directly under the lines that you just wrote.
With one line in between.
Yep, with a line in between both those lines. Okay? Then from the bottom of the first tally on the top line, you're going to draw a line to the top of the second tally on the second line.
Oh shit. Okay.
Then from the bottom of the bottom of the middle tally on the top to the top of the far right tally on the bottom. Okay, so you should have a diagonal line. They're going parallel to each other. Then you're going to take the two tallies that aren't connected to anything. You're going to draw a line going diagonal in the opposite direction that you went diagonal above. You're just going to connect it to that diagonal line. So you're going to make a perpendicular angle, or you're going to come right to where it's going to make a 90 degree angle into that diagonal you just made. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other tally, but going downward or upward, whichever one you did first. And then let me know when you're at that point.
I think I fucked it up.
I probably fucked up explaining it. It's very close, except you went through the lines.
I'm not supposed to go through the lines.
No.
So, listeners, did Zach give me that instruction?
I said you go to the line. I said you make a 90 degree angle with the line. I thought I was very specific with that. And then on top, on the top, above the tallies that you made on the top.
Wait. Sorry, the two lines. So I go bottom to bottom, right?
Bottom to bottom.
Bottom.
I don't know what you mean.
But
I don't know what you mean about bottom to bottom. What do you mean the two lines on the bottom? You know what, Johnny? We'd be failing if this was like a team building exercise right now.
Yeah, you're horrible at building.
No, man, I'm really good at building. You're bad at following instructions.
Okay, so
yes,
this floating line.
Yep. So you're gonna go from the top. Nope. From the top of it, you're gonna meet that diagonal line that's right next to it. You're not gonna go through it. Nope. Yep. Exactly. And then on the other side, you're gonna go. It's like a mirrored image, except you're going downward towards that diagonal line, but you're not going to go through the diagonal line. That's very important.
Is this right?
Yes, and then on the other side, you're going to go diagonal up to the line.
Here.
Yep. No, from the top of it. Yep. To the middle. Yep.
From here.
No. From the top of the tally. Diagonally upwards until you meet that line, and then you do not go further.
You don't have to yell.
God damn it, dude. All right, are you at that point?
Okay.
You got that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Then you're just going to draw a little dot above the center tally. You're going to skip a line. Okay? Above the center tally on the top. You're just going to draw a little dot.
Okay, so skip a line?
Yep, just like you did on the first, between the tallies in the first step. You're going to skip a line. You're going to put just a little dot directly above the center tally on that line. Okay? And then you're going to do the same thing on the bottom. You're going to skip that line. You're going to put another dot at the bottom. Then all you have to do is connect on the top. You have to connect that first tally, the top of the first tally on the left, to the point on the top.
Okay.
And then on the right side, you're going to connect it up to that point at the top.
Okay.
Then on the bottom, you're going to go from the bottom of the first tally to the point on the bottom.
Okay.
And then the bottom of the tally on the right to that point. And you should have the cool S.
Is that what it looked like?
Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like.
Nailed it. That's my first cool S. You guys.
You nailed it, dude. It only took 5 minutes of a goddamn podcast.
Yeah, because you're a horrible art instructor.
This has been the worst segment in Jumbled history. I sincerely,
with Jumbled.
you know what? Here's call to arms. I should have said this beforehand. If you were not trying to follow along with that, I want you guys to rewind back to where that whole segment started, and I want you to try to go through that, because with us not recording video podcasts, you have no idea what Johnny just showed me. So I want to see what you guys have created for the Cool S. If you don't know what the Cool S is, or even if you do know what the Cool S is, try to follow my instruction and let me know if I'm a bad instructor
Cool
or
S
not.
it's totally fucking cheating, though.
No, well, I mean, sure, but you can follow.
Yes.
Everybody knows how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich too. But if you take everything literally and you follow it step by step.
Interesting. Okay. Touché.
So if somebody says put the peanut butter on some bread, then you would take the thing of peanut butter.
How I feel about peanut butter and jelly?
You take the thing of peanut butter and you just throw it on a loaf of bread, and that's pretty much putting the peanut butter on the bread, right?
I mean, I was just gonna say, my new version of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches is a teaspoon of each peanut butter and jelly per bite.
Okay.
But without the bread, you just put it right in your mouth.
That's a peanut butter and jelly sans sandwich. You're just eating peanut butter and jelly. That's what the secret is, Johnny.
That's the low that I got to this weekend.
That's low,
Still
man.
in vacation mode.
That's fucking low, dude. That's
so I'm having a rest period while I'm sick,
okay.
So I'm just kind of eating whatever I want. And we got this new all natural peanut butter that has coconut in it, and it is so fluffy and whipped, and it's like roasted peanut butter, salt, and coconut.
Yeah.
And I was eating that mixed with some rhubarb jam. And just one spoon in each, just.
Okay, so that meal is it's one of two things. I guess it could be three things. It's recovering from sickness, and you don't have enough energy to make anything else, right? Or you were just your heart was just broken. And that could be from the dogs. The dogs broke your heart, and that's obvious at this point.
They definitely didn't make my heart feel good.
Yeah. Or well, I don't know what the third one is. The third one's just laziness, I feel like.
You saying I'm lazy?
I definitely have to have bread with my peanut butter and jelly. I can't just eat. I can eat a spoonful of peanut butter for sure. But I can't just shovel jelly in my mouth. That's weird. Do you prefer jelly or jam?
What's the difference?
I think jam has like more like natural fruit like pieces and not necessarily.
Oh yeah, I like it if there's actually like chunks of fruit in it.
Yeah.
So that's jelly?
It's jam.
That's jam. Okay, yeah. I like the real
Or
jam.
do you like preserves?
I think preserves, if I'm going to eat it, I want there to be some sugar in it. And I feel like preserves is just kind of meh.
Gotcha.
Meh.
Just
I don't
tastes
know.
like
I don't like marmalade or anything.
Yeah. What about lady marmalade? Do you like that?
I don't know what you're referring to.
No, dude, no. You don't know what lady marmalade is?
No, what the fuck is
God.
I just said I don't like marmalade.
All right.
Zach, I doodled something there to show you at how bad at drawing I am, and I wanted to draw my spoon that I was using for my peanut butter. This is what it turned out to be. Are you ready?
It's gonna be a fork. Dude, yeah, that's bad, man.
It's a paddle.
It looks like an oar. Looks like you eat your fucking jelly with an oar, dude. What are you doing? Is that how they're doing things up there up north nowadays? You guys you're on a spoon shortage up there.
One spoon to rule them all.
I think you're doing you ever watch the Beverly Hillbillies?
Yes.
So you know Jethro just eats a bowl of cereal, but he's got like the biggest bowl and the biggest spoon that he can find.
That's basically
That's you, yeah. Except like it's an or.
Do you remember Chef Chris from Graceland way back in the day?
Yeah, I think so. I probably, I mean, I remember somebody named Chef Chris, but I probably couldn't. If you
pick him out of a crowd of 3 people.
A crowd of 3 people. Yeah, I couldn't.
So I obviously made friends with him because I need to make friends with anyone who controls my food.
Sure.
So sometimes I would just go up, and if I didn't like anything that was out in the comments, I would just holler at him and be like, hey, make me like whatever you would want to make yourself right now. I'll wait until you're not busy. And so he would like make me some crazy shit all the time, and then people would be like, where'd you get that from? Especially at lunch.
Yeah.
And then one time for dinner, I just finished my workout, and I came in to the comments, and it was pretty late, and I was like, Chris, make me whatever you'd make yourself for dinner. He's like, I got you. And then he came back out with a salad bowl, like one of those giant tin salad bowls.
I think I remember this.
It was an entire box of fucking Captain Crunch and milk in this massive, well, not a salad bowl, like a mixing bowl for like bacon. But if you were going to bake like a cake for 50 people. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to fucking eat this. I can't waste it.
That's brilliant, man.
Good old times of eating food.
Yeah, good old times with eating food.
Speaking of eating food, Z, I need to go and eat some food.
What a great segue, dude. What a segue. That's a segue for the ages, man.
I'm honestly like really contemplating some coconut peanut butter and rhubarb jam.
All right, I'm going to check on you in 2 hours, make sure you're doing all right. All right,
bud? I'll be passed out from a sugar coma.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Feel like we spent a whole lot of time on dogs and doodling.
Dogs and doodles.
Yep, dogs and doodles. That might be the name. I don't know. I've got a couple floating around.
That's going to be a jumbled offshoot.
Yeah.
Jumbled. Dogs and doodles.
Yeah, dogs and doodles. Yep. But if you guys have enjoyed this episode or any other episode, please head over to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and let us know what you like about the podcast. That'd be much appreciated. Send any emails to jumbledpodcast@gmail.com or johnny.jumbled@gmail.com. Follow us on all social media @jumbledpodcast. Please head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and check out any of the 180,000 plus titles that they have available for your ears. Or maybe it's just ear if you're like my daughter. Because frostbite's a bitch, right? And then head over to patreon.com/jumbled, pay $500 and get us an address. Or maybe I just give that money to Johnny so he can eat food that isn't peanut butter and jelly at the same time.
I like it. Let me be fat right now.
Oh, I got one last thing I want to ask you. Did you ever do the peanut butter and jellies mixed together?
What do you mean?
So,
like blend them together?
No, there's stuff in the store that
is so fucking American right there.
It's peanut butter and jelly together in the same jar.
That does not exist in Canada.
Yeah, it's disgusting. So I'm glad that you haven't heard about that, and I've never done it
nice,
myself.
Though?
Huh.
If you throw a little cream cheese into that, make a little menage a trois.
Fucking gross, dude.
No, man, try it.
All right.
Fucking cream cheese and jam. Ooh. Real good.
Yeah, I could see
cream
that.
Cheese and peanut
Give
butter,
it a little bit of zing.
Real good.
I could see maybe the jam.
Put all three together, and you just have. Oh, I might go do that right now. I want to go to the store.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of Jumbled, your favorite podcast.
To get Audible art lessons.
Oh, that was completely doodles. Never mind. We're still in doodles. I like it.
I was gonna say doodles and dogs, but
I thought you were doing a shout out to our sponsor, but no, that was just
no, it was both.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see you guys next.
Audible can put this episode as an audiobook. Art lessons. Let's do it.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Let's actually do it, Zach, so we can say we're on Audible.
That'd be brilliant.
Download our book. Yeah, it's Jumbled.
It's an hour long.
Art lessons. Audio only.
Yeah. All right. We'll be on the lookout for that, guys. We will see you guys later.